Shots fired where my good buddy Adam, right here, this guy, get to talk about
What's up, Joe?
photography
What's up,
and all
Joe?
the idiotic
By the
things that
way,
we get to
by the
do.
way, as you know, Scott is still
Still away.
gallivanting around Europe at the moment. That son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
I hope he's having a good time.
I hope he's
having a
not.
great time.
I hope he had a terrible time.
Yeah. Yeah, but since he's still out today, we figured we would talk about an interesting subject. Well, what we think is an interesting subject at the very least.
Right.
Trying to maintain a landscape photography hobby when you have kids. When you have kids, and
When it's nearly impossible to do. Yeah.
exactly. Yep. So we're gonna cover off on how it's impacted our lives, our craft, if you will.
Yep.
And then we will get into maybe some practical advice on what you can do to try to mitigate some of the some of the challenges that you face when you do have kids and you're trying to capture something amazing. But
Yeah.
but actually, before we get into to that conversation, Joe, I did want to quickly talk to you about.
Oh, you wanted to talk to
the
me about my
results
win.
of
That's
our-
right. My win. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. So we're,
What happened there
for
again?
those of you who watched our for those of you who watched our previous episode, we had a little bit of a challenge where Joe picked one of my images to re-edit, and I picked one of Joe's edits to or one of Joe's images to re-edit. We re-edited them. We walked through our thought process and our post-processing for that. And then we uploaded it to, uploaded both to Instagram for
Yep.
our Instagram audiences to choose the winner. And keep in mind, we didn't include any type of background information or context on why we were posting those. We just said edit A or edit B. Which one do you prefer? And
Yep.
Let me just pull up the two edits here. So on the left, you'll see the original. This was Joe's. This was mine. This was my amazing edit. You're welcome. And then this was my original edit, and this was Joe's edit here.
Yep.
Now, I guess into the results. Congratulations, Joe. At the very least, our Instagram audiences
Yep.
slightly favored yours. At least on what I uploaded.
Yep.
On these two, I uploaded these.
It was like a 47 to 53. It wasn't a blow you out of the water, which I was a little disappointed with.
It was a 54 to 46%. You actually beat me by three votes.
Yep.
And then I'm not quite sure the final score on yours here, but
It was around there. It was about the
Yeah.
same. Yeah. Nothing drastic.
You eked me out on that one as well too. So so congratulations on your win.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't know.
And whenever you're
still
ready
think
for
that-
some Photoshop lessons, I am always here for you.
I will say at least what some of the feedback that I heard. I would say for mine, I would quality over quantity. For me, I've said that to you many times, but I feel like the better photographers much preferred mine, and the less solid photographers preferred yours, of course. But for instance, Taylor Picard, who we both know.
Yep.
Both know her stuff. She's a great photographer out of the Southwest. She's based in the Southwest, I believe. But some interesting feedback that I heard from her. She said the top layer of the rock is beautiful. So she was talking about this top layer up here on yours. But in edit A, my eye's drawn and kind of sticks there, detracting from the waterfall. So she was talking about it sticks up here, and her eye kind of doesn't see the main subject here.
Gotcha.
Edit B encourages my focus to stay on the water and explore the falls. So exactly what I was going for. Thank you, Taylor. Good eye, of course. And any interesting feedback on this?
Let's see. What did I have? So on ours, Andrew Morse said, while option B had a bit more of a color cast, It definitely has better depth that pulls you into the scene. And A, the bush, tree, and the foreground is just too bright and distracting. Also, the colors in A are more dynamic, but they're not really harmonious, while the color cast of B helps to reduce how much of the issue that is. I would pick B over A, but that's just me.
Yeah, so
So
he's
he
saying that
actually
he
did like
choose
yours. Yep,
the original
he liked
over
yours.
the edit. So
I mean,
okay, well,
I will say I did kind of over brighten the bush. It doesn't balance too well, but I did want some more color, like the light was coming through to that direction, whereas
yeah,
yours got a little darker at bottom. But
yep, yep. Uh, so
artistic
the final
differences. That's all.
the the final piece of feedback that I'll share, at least for this one, we heard this one from our buddy Art Hughes, who he said only A, more contrast, more color, do it. And then I'm like that's an awful take. And he go, and by the way, he had no idea that you and I had this challenge going on, as
Right.
mentioned. Then he said, I've seen the hub accounts. I know what works here on Instagram, but seriously, that first one is disgusting. Please block anyone who answers A, including Joseph. Including Joseph. So he had no idea that this was actually a Joseph Cole edit here, but needless to say, man, congratulations. That's a good win.
Yep.
I'm sure
we'll do it again
a nice
another
feather
time.
in your cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely look forward to the rematch for sure. But let's dive into the topic.
How difficult
first
is
and
it to
foremost,
shoot
I'll
with
say
family? Yeah.
Yeah, family.
Yeah.
Obviously a big change in our lives.
Huge.
I'll caveat this right off the bat by saying I only have one kid. I have one amazing 2-year-old daughter, while you have four kids, ranging between 17 and
11.
I want to say 11. Okay,
Yeah.
so your kids are a bit older, but of
They
course
are.
you have four of them.
Yep.
Yeah. First things first, Joe. I'm curious. How has your photographic life changed? Since
You have
you've
to
had
shoot
kids?
faster. You have to spray and pray, and almost shoot like a sports photographer at times. But no, like
Yeah, that's true.
at your level, much harder because catering to the little ones, you can't go nearly as far. You kind of have to stay within, probably a 3-mile radius. So you don't want to go hiking up a mountain if your wife needs you for some god awful reason.
Yeah. Yep.
So like when they do get older, it does get easier. Like I can go out for 6 hours in the morning and nobody's the wiser. I get back home, they're still sleeping until like 9, 10 o'clock on a vacation. So I don't need to worry about it. When you have the little ones, they're waking up anywhere between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. So your time
Well,
gets cut short for sure.
Yeah. I will say, luckily, my daughter sleeps till 7 o'clock, which is nice. But no, I definitely can't wait till she's sleeping in until 9, 10.
Yep.
It gives me much more time to go out in the
Oh,
morning,
for sure.
as you mentioned. But
Yeah.
it's funny, Joe, because I was looking around on all those photographers that you and I talk about and admire all the time, and most of them I'd say are
Most of them are
either
single.
younger, single.
Yeah.
Most of them single. Most of them, might have a husband or a wife, but most do not have kids. So,
Yeah.
I feel like, especially if you want to make this a full-time profession, it's definitely tough to do that and raise a kid at the same time, especially
sure.
when they're younger, as you mentioned. But
Well, it's like for some of these guys that travel, 8 months out of the year, probably. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they hold their family together besides just basically giving them money to survive. So it's got to be tough for some of these guys and ladies.
Absolutely. And speaking of travel, so like, let's talk about that one first, because
You and I both get travel.
Travel-wise.
Yeah, we're both well traveled.
Yeah. Both very well traveled, and I know same for both of our families. It's always been a priority to travel.
Yeah,
It's obviously much tougher to travel when you have kids. It's more expensive, but
yeah,
also there's much less that you can do. It's but for us, especially me and my wife, we've always prioritized travel and always wanted to kind of raise our daughter to travel with us
yeah,
and sort of ingrain that value into
yeah.
into her life as well too. But I will say that at least like traveling with a kid, and especially when it comes to photography, there are there are much fewer locations that we can actually travel to. Like
Yeah.
photographic locations. I tended, or at least prior to having kids, 2 years ago, I tended to do like backcountry stuff and more
Yep.
adventure stuff, and going to Patagonia and doing some like backcountry camping, and that you kind of have to throw all that out the window. It's not
I
like you
mean,
still
yeah,
can't
you
go
don't
to
want to put
those
your kid in
locations,
danger
but
with a bear or wolves or anything like that. So,
sure,
that
yeah,
would be
yeah.
pretty sketchy. All I can
I
say to that
definitely,
effect
I don't,
is you really have to start them young. So you're already doing an amazing job by that,
yeah,
because my older two,
yeah,
they have no interest in nature. Like my second, a little bit. The first one, none at
yeah,
all. Like we were just very like homebody when she was born, because first kid, you don't really know what you're doing. The
sure,
younger
yeah,
two, I can get out and they will go out with me on hikes, but the older two just have no desire, nothing. So yeah, get them
it
out.
sounds
The
like you,
get them out the sooner the possible.
yeah.
You know, as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
I mean, it sounds like you definitely learned a lesson after the first two,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely to get your kids more involved. But um, I will say, like, so the location has changed for sure.
Yep.
The locations that we can go to, even for instance, we were supposed to go to the Dolomites last year.
Yeah.
We went this year, but we were supposed to go last year. We couldn't go because there are certain locations that were at elevation, and you can't bring for instance, a child who's under six months old to above a certain
Right.
elevation, or at
Yeah.
least it's not very healthy. So
No,
there are all
you don't
those
want to
things
get
that
an
you kind of have to
elevation
keep in
sickness.
mind. But you also talked about like when you're actually on site and either bringing your kid or not bringing your kid, leaving
Hmm.
them back in the hotel room. Walk me through what you're doing on site. You mentioned
So
shooting quickly, right?
exactly.
Yeah, because
So
I've
I'll
definitely felt that pressure as well too.
for when I go out by myself and I'm with the family for a family vacation. I'll go out. I'll get up at like between 3 and 4 a.m. Head out, take the car, go head out wherever. For instance, so this is an
There it
image
is.
that I took in Hawaii. Got up really early, obviously sunrise. I had spotted this on a hike the day before. So in the afternoon, whole family did this hike. We went all the way down to the beach at the bottom there. Absolutely gorgeous. But I just spotted this comp that was up in a tree. Um, and it just looked fantastic. So I was like, it's utilizing all the branches and everything. Let's go for it. Got up. Luckily, skies were pretty nice in the morning. Got that nice orange glow and got that soft blue in the waves, and it just worked out. So
Yeah.
I mean,
So so
if you can hike while you're looking for stuff, that's great. Um, that's one way to go. And then there was this other time in Madeira where this is my daughter Nora. We were just hiking around like 11, just before lunch. Um, my wife and the rest of the family were down on the beach, just relaxing. And I said, Nora, you want to go on a hike with me? She said, absolutely, let's go, because I don't really want to swim in this cold water in Madeira. And
I love it.
we walked around for, I don't know, maybe like half an hour, 40 minutes in the fog. And I found this. So
Very
This
cool.
is probably one of my favorites from that day.
Yeah.
Um,
Love
I
that shot, man.
obviously
Love it.
embellish the light, but you kind of have to
It's okay.
sometimes just to get some
Yeah.
effect. But I
Yeah.
love the tree in the back. I love the shape of this tree and some shadow on the far right, and then just bring the light
Yep.
through. So you can, you can grab some stuff. And all this was handheld. Like I didn't take a tripod with me. Um, Nothing in the scene was like either moving crazy fast or I needed to take a long exposure for. So just, you know, quick snapshots, but turned out well. So
Yeah,
um,
man. Well,
there, there are ways to get around it.
I will say it's sometimes when you're shooting in fog and you're not getting that light that you're looking for, it's okay to put a little English on it, of course.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, man. Yeah, that's great that you're able to kind of share that with your daughter, and
Yeah,
it sounds like you're raising Nora right, of course.
hopefully.
But
I screwed up the
yeah,
first two, but
yeah, yeah, very cool.
third and fourth.
That's okay. That's okay. No, they're great kids. Even all four of them, I'd say, are great
Yep.
kids.
Yeah, they're fun.
But yeah, no. So you did mention a few things. Like I heard scouting. It
Yep.
sounds like when you're out with the family midday, you're scouting already
Yep.
and looking for compositions
Yep.
and kind of storing them away and saying
Exactly.
I'm going to come back there at 3 a.m. tomorrow. And you also mentioned like waking up at 3 or 4 a.m. One thing that I found myself doing recently, especially now that I have kids, is planning certain trips based on when the sunrise and
Yep.
sunset are.
Yep.
So for instance, if I'm thinking about traveling to a location where the sunset is at 6:30 when I should be back at home feeding my daughter dinner, I may rethink that location and instead go back when the sunrise is not till 9 p.m. and she's already been in bed for the last hour or two.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever done that. I think that might be a little too insane, but I find myself like almost planning certain trips of
I don't
like
think it's
what is
insane.
going to make the most sense. Like like when am I actually going to be able to to get out and
Yeah.
and shoot either in the morning or at night and and I always try to avoid those shoots where I have to wake up at like 3 or 4 a.m. I feel like
I mean,
you're a
it
complete
hurts.
nut
And I
when
mean,
it comes to that. But
by 3 p.m., you kind of like want to just take a nap real
yeah,
fast. But
yeah,
it's not that bad. And plus, as
yeah.
soon as you start getting a little bit older, like I'm what, 6 or 7 years older than you. Once your 50s start coming around, you don't sleep anymore. You just,
You're 6 or 7 years older than me, dude. I,
yeah.
I thought you were like 15,
Oh, fuck
17 years older. Okay.
you.
By the way, by the way, so
Yeah.
you had mentioned getting your kids into nature.
Yep.
At least number 3 and 4 we're getting into nature.
Yep.
Definitely, for us that's a big priority with our daughter as well too.
Hmm.
One of the books that I recently bought was Identifying Trees of the East, and
Nice.
this is a very specific strategy of I actually want to learn all the different trees. I think as landscape photographers, we're very familiar with beech trees and birch trees, and we're already pretty familiar with,
Yeah.
with many different types of trees. But what I want to do is I want to really learn every single tree, at least
Nerd.
here in the Northeast, and then teach that to my daughter so that you know hopefully when we're out
So when
hiking,
she
she'll be
starts
able to.
dating, the person's going to be like, "How do you know so much about trees?" And
How
she's
do you know
going to
so?
be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
My dad made me learn
My
trees."
my dad's a huge nerd, but almost make a game out of it. Like say, hey, what is this tree over here? And
Yep.
she'll say, oh, it's that's a Japanese maple, or what is this tree over here? That's a white oak.
Yeah.
So like almost kind of make a game out of it
Yep. Yep.
to instill that love of nature, because again that's pretty important to our lives, and I want to make sure that's important for
Sure.
her as well too. But yeah, no. Final question I had for you is, what about editing? how do you
So
find
editing
time,
with kids,
especially with four kids,
I'm gonna be
who
honest with
are
you.
who I might say your four kids are, they're all, taking, in sports and,
Yeah.
preparing for their SATs, and
Yep.
I mean, I feel like you're moving nonstop. So it's like how do you even find time to edit? How do you find time for yourself?
So luckily, my entire family are sleepers. I get up regardless pretty much every day at 6. Um,
Okay.
so on weekends from 6 to 9, that's my time to edit.
Okay. That's
That's
nice.
it.
So
Sometimes I'll stay
that's
up late at
nice.
night, but that's random. It's very very rare. Like nobody really wants
Yeah.
any attention until 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. So they want
Yeah.
me to like
Yeah.
get them breakfast or something. So it's not terrible. I do have time to myself. Um, and
Okay.
then also
That's
like
good.
I'll do the same thing in the summer if I can think of anything to do, like the macro photography. Um, then I'll go out and do that in the mornings before they get up, and then have something to do. But yeah, being with them and having them around, it's just a bit tougher. Um, because
Well, yeah.
they don't mind doing the hikes, but them sitting waiting for me to take a shot is a completely different animal, and they're not as willing to
Sure.
let me do my thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's And by the way, I forgot you were into to macro as well too.
yep,
That's an interesting way of, especially when you have kids and you have competing priorities, to
yep,
actually be able to shoot, bring the shoot to you, if you will,
right,
versus, traveling to Madeira
yep,
or wherever that may be.
yeah,
But yeah. Well, that's smart, and that's good to hear that your kids at least give you some time to edit. It's
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like for me it's less time, and I'm often on her sleep schedule as well
yeah,
too,
yeah, for
on my
sure.
daughter's sleep schedule. So, it's I find it a lot tougher to edit. I find it tougher to actually go and upload,
Yeah,
to Instagram. I used to upload every Sunday to
right,
Instagram, and now it's more like once every other Sunday,
yeah,
or
yeah. Yeah.
once, every 3 weeks or so. It's
And soon it'll
I
be
just
just as
find
bad
it.
as Scott, just once every other
Yeah,
like
yeah,
month.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's Scott's like once every other, quarter. Yeah. He's a
Poor
once a
guy.
quarter guy, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's definitely a lot tougher. And by the way, I will say, like, when I'm on a shoot, so I forgot to mention this previously, but sometimes, like, having a kid actually does help, and
Hmm.
I'll share maybe one or two shots.
All right.
This is when we were out. I've
Yep.
shared this image with you before,
Yep.
and on this channel before, but this was when we were out in Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park in Northern California.
Yep.
I was having such a ball. It was such amazing light there, and
Yep.
and I was shooting the trees, and in fact, my daughter and my wife were behind the camera, and they just started to wander, at least somewhat close to my composition, and I readjusted to get them into the frame, and I would say this never would have been possible if I didn't have
Oh yeah.
didn't have, two amazing subjects here
Right.
to provide a little bit more scale for the image, for one, but also it was just a really nice, special moment for me,
Yep.
and my daughter was just learning how to walk at that point, and that it was just a really, really fantastic moment there. But the other one that I'll share here is this was again when we were out in Oregon, same trip actually. My daughter was I have a backpack that where she gets into the backpack, and she was actually sleeping in my right behind me as I was going around looking for, we were going on a hike. She had fallen asleep, and I know that you've seen the video of this kind of amazing, this amazing scene with this great atmosphere and just a really pretty scene here. And she was snoozing away behind me, which was a fun moment. But I do find that, you know, especially when you have kids, like you have to shoot much quicker, as you mentioned. But
Yeah.
always important to find time. Again, try to combine both sides of your life and see if there's a happy marriage there. But
For sure.
yeah, it's definitely a lot tougher nowadays, for sure. But I will say one thing that you do really well and much better than me is
Everything.
that's funny is building up your. You do like a really good job of building up your personal network and reaching out to people on Instagram.
Yeah.
Actually trying to build up the community around you to, you know, with fellow photographers. So, you know, during those times where we may not be able to travel, may not be able to shoot, we have competing priorities, we have
Yeah.
kids stuff that we have to take care of, we have, you know, we don't have time to edit. Those little pockets in your day that you do have free,
Yeah.
you've done like a good job of filling that filling that up with a community of
Yeah.
other photographers. I mean, that's how I met you in the first place.
Yeah.
You actually reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey man, you know, you want to go out for shoot one of these days.
Yeah.
And you know, you and obviously Scott's in this as well too.
Yeah.
I mentioned Art earlier today.
Yeah.
I mean, we have this friend group or this you know, this group chat where we can discuss other photographers, techniques, you know, kind of keep those creative juices flowing, keep that
Yeah.
keep that inspiration flowing as well too, which you know, is really helpful for this this type of hobby where it's easy to kind of let it go and forget about
Yep.
it for months on end. You've done like a really good job of building up that community around you and making sure that it's top of mind and you're keeping those
It's funny. It's like
creative juices
there's
flowing.
a lot of people have always named it like the gift of gab, just being able to like not give a shit, talk to people, and you know, try and get people to just come out with their activities and what they like to do, and you know, share some semblance of community with those people. So it, you just gotta have
It's
the
definitely
you
a
just
gift,
have
man.
the
Yeah.
you just
Yeah,
have to have the guts to just say screw it and just talk to people, you know. So
yeah. It's you're definitely more of an extrovert than me, but you know, I do give you credit for reaching out and yeah, if you hadn't have done so,
this wouldn't be a thing.
probably just couldn't continue.
Yeah.
This wouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah.
We would not have shots for it for sure. But nice, man.
Yeah, dude. What else you got for the people? Should we cut it off there and save it for next time, or we got some?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
That seems like a pretty good place to end it. But yeah, good chat as always. I think
Yeah, buddy.
on the next episode we'll have Scott back and
Hopefully,
yeah.
unless he
obviously-
decides to travel
obviously
somewhere
more-
else.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. Yeah. Yeah. More topics obviously to come. But yeah. And by the way, I will say in our last video, Liz, my wife Liz, said that I was too mean to you. So
No.
I'll try to be a little bit nicer. Hopefully I
No.
wasn't too. She said condescending. And I'm like,
Rock hard.
That's just how he and I talk to each other. You know, that's
It's like brothers.
that's
you
just
know,
another day. Yeah, yeah.
that's all it is. Just like
Yeah.
bros.
Just like bros. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But all right, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, we can end it there. But have a good night.
You too.
See you, folks.
See you guys. Stay tuned for the next stuff, and we'll get back to you with some more stuff from Instagram. And I have something that I want to tell you next time we're on. So see you next time.
Bye bye.